Hello, strong people. Week 2, day 4 of off-season work. It is secondary press day, I guess you want to call it. It's our split jerk day. Split jerk, dumbbells, other stuff. I don't know what else. But it's pretty much the same thing as last week, but with a plus set. So I kind of took it down to reps of like 4 or 5 last week. Doing split jerk just because, just because I didn't feel, I don't know. I was getting kind of tired, doing 8 reps of it. It just felt, I don't know what it was. Because it's a new thing, I don't know, it was weird. Like 8 reps of most things like this, I wouldn't really be that bothered by. But for that, I felt like I was just tired. I don't know, but we'll see. I don't know if I'll do that today. I'd like to hit what's programmed, sets of 8. I would also like to go a little bit heavier though, because what I did last week was only 225. I can move that in pretty much any way. So I don't think it was heavy enough to really show like where my technique would break down. And like the dip and drive part of it, I can throw that and catch that no problem. So I don't need to dip as much. So I think that was another thing where 225, you want lightweight for technique work, but not so light to where the technique doesn't really matter, I guess, in some way. So I think if the weight was a little bit heavier, I would be a little bit more, it would show me I need to drop down a little bit more. So I'd like to go up a little bit, but not too much, maybe 245, 265. Who knows, maybe 275. I don't know. But I think I might pyramid up today to a top set of 8. And then I actually have a plus set of 8 as well. So it's like 4x8 and one set of 8 plus. So we'll see. I'll just kind of play it by feel. This is what I'm excited for this. I like doing this new stuff here. So yeah, I don't really know. Now that I kind of know what to do from the start, I feel a little bit more mentally prepared for this one, as far as like technique, what I need to do, a little bit more, week to week, as much as I can improve. But let's get warmed up for it. I'm going to warm up my shoulder blades, retractions, and stuff like that, banded pull-aways. I see Lucas Hatton do all the time, so we'll throw those in to warm up for sure, and then we'll get to it. So I also don't know how much of a difference there would be on like an Olympic bar versus power bar for this. I know they got some whip, but this power bar, it has like none up until like 3 plates. There's a little bit, so you're not getting that whip and catch type of thing you see a lot of ollie lifters do. Oh, and something else I think I've noticed. I need to watch some videos back, but watching like Lasha Telekadze, who, if you're unfamiliar, is like the best Olympic lifter of all time, I think, something like that. He's amazing. Him and there's another dude who's like 23 and like balding, and people online always joke about it, saying, yeah, like the 43 or whatever. That's all besides the point. That's just how I know him as. I don't know his actual name. I should learn it because he's crazy good. But they seem to put a lot of weight on the front foot. They don't catch like in the middle of the split. They catch and like land on the front foot. I'd have to look it back to see if that's really it or I'm just seeing things. But when I'm doing it, I'm imagining landing like right in the middle. And I don't know if that's right or if I should be kind of leaning forward more or what. But I don't know. We'll see. It's all going to come as I get used to this. So let's get into it. don't pass out. Good. Come on, another good one. That was pretty good. When I feel my technique start breaking down on that, that's when I'm calling that. That's how I do that with bag toss too a lot. And I think I mentioned it before, it's like an old baseball thing of mine. Like if you're tired, you might be a little bit more lazy in your mechanics. So if you're like exhausted, it's probably not ideal to work on technical stuff to a degree. Obviously, technique stuff, the weight's going to be lighter than normal. But still, I'm a little bit picky when it comes to doing stuff that's really technique focused when I'm just exhausted. And I'm not exhausted right now, not at all. I actually feel really good. But I can feel my technique starting to break down after like 4 or 5 reps. So I'm playing a little smart. I probably shouldn't have gone that heavy just because of that reason. But that weight there, that felt like it was hitting making me think about technique more than what 225 would have done. I pyramided up, obviously, but like 225 and stuff, the bar just kind of floats off the back. It's there. I don't need to dip as much. On these ones, what did I end up? Yeah, 295. That felt like if I messed up, it was going to show me where I messed up. And it did. I was off balance, out of line, whatever it might have been there in a couple reps. But I'm pretty happy with that. I'll have to go back and see, but I don't know that I've ever split jerked that much. Definitely not for that many reps. If I've done it, it's been just a single. I may have done 315 at one point, but not this well. I'm still not dipping as much as I feel like I should be, but whenever I watch back videos, I did like a side-by-side. I marked where my head was when I was standing, and then I marked where it was on my dip. And like I'm dropping a good bit. It just doesn't look like that all that much. So I gotta analyze that a little bit more closer because maybe I don't need to dip as much. I don't know. There's like a certain angle of the front knee that I think might be a good idea to look at. Obviously that's pretty advanced. I don't know if that's a thing they look at or what, but like comparing like Lucas Hatton to like Lasha, and I still don't know this other guy's name. I need to look at their stuff to see kind of front knee angle, like what posture, just to see if like what I'm doing looks similar to what they're doing. Because I usually am okay with seeing something and replicating it, but I'm not. This is a little bit more complicated for me, it feels like. But it feels better. I feel so much better this week doing it. I actually felt pretty confident. Leg drive felt good. I feel like it could still be better. I don't think I'm getting as much extension as I could be up, and I'm still focusing too much on the split. So that's something to work on. But today, what I was really happy about was the cue that was like, I don't remember the cue now, but I'm pretty much imagining like locking my upper back in place in a way. I forget the way they described it, but I'm almost like imagining pushing my delts back to catch it, their scapula back or something along those lines. Because I'm kind of, that's how I'm feeling. That's where I'm locking it. I don't feel like I'm locking it out with my shoulders. I feel like I'm locking it in with my upper back. And I think that's the idea of it. So I'm pretty happy with that. You know, I think next week we bump it down to 5s. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's that. So, 3 plates I would love to hit, but you know, who knows? We'll see. So, yeah, I'm gonna move on to whatever's next. I'm pretty sure it is incline dumbbell next. So, I gotta make sure I have the right angle on this as last week. I'd love to hit 150 dumbbells today. It could be possible. I don't know. Let's find out. Oh, I zoned out there for a little bit after that. I kind of sat down and I put a lot of effort into that lift there. I came over to sit down and I catch my breath after it, and I zoned out for, I don't know, probably 10 minutes. Just, I was tired after that. God, excuse me. But now I got to move on to lat pull downs. I think some tries, buys. Some ab exercise, and then I think we end on the rope hangs again. So I'm going to get right into that. I don't want to chat here too much, but that had to be a PR. 155-ish for 8 on incline. That's got to be a PR. I don't know. It's not an exercise I track all that closely. I'd like to think if I could. First of all, doing it on these dumbbells is so hard. That's actually the way that I set those up. I put the 10s on the inside, and I have a set of 25s that's bigger than the other ones. So I put those 25s on the bottom. So whenever I put it on my leg, I have actually more surface area to kind of rest it on. It's still difficult with the clip and the end of the dumbbell being there, so I got to position it just right. If it was like a standard 150-pound dumbbell, I think that would be much easier, but it's not. So I don't know. I'd love to think that I could do. This is probably going to be. I'm probably way overshooting here. Maybe 180 for a few. Definitely not 8. Definitely not 8. I don't know. Maybe 3, 4. Someday I'd love to try out 200-pound dumbbells. Yeah, I don't know where the nearest set even would be, so, and that'd be like a weird side quest. I care about competing, so that's like a one-off thing. I feel like there's a high chance of injury when you do something like that, but I don't know, I feel like a lot of the stuff we do is kind of a high chance of injury sometimes. I could be wrong about that. Not that I care that much, you know, like I'm gonna get hurt at some point. You're not going to be perfectly healthy when you do this sport. If you are, you are incredibly lucky, so props to you. But let's just move on to whatever's next. Lat pull downs, that's what's next. We'll do that. All right, I think I'm going to call the workout there. Well, for you guys, the workout still has like 6 more things to do. There's like buys and tries, an exercise for each. Oh, what was that other one? Oh, like flies and something else. core exercise and then my rope hangs. So I'm not really done, but I want to get these last few things done kind of quickly, so I'm not going to mess with the camera. I'm just going to plug in my phone and listen to some music and bang out some accessories. So good workout. Something I wanted to mention that you probably would have noticed, and it's not a major deal, but I kept bumping the mat that I had on my jerk blocks. So I took that off after the one set to give myself a little bit more room, and I think it helped. It just felt better when I dipped a little bit lower on those. Whenever I'm doing front rack push press, I do not dip that low. So because the bar's on my back, and probably because I'm wearing ollie shoes, you know, with heels, I'm able to dip a little bit lower, I believe. So I think I'm getting some good pop because of that, but I couldn't keep bumping the mats, or the mats, because it kept knocking me out of balance. So I can mess up myself doing that. I don't want to do that. There's a ladybug trying to climb into my stuff. I got it. But that's where I'm going to call the video there. So nothing too exciting. I don't know what next week is. I know it's going to be another max effort lower, upper. I think I have a 5 rep max bench next week, so that'd be cool. I'd like to just beat 365 on floor press. I think that'd be decent, maybe. I really don't know. I have like 1 or 2 good bench sessions a year, and it's just like, I never know when it's going to happen. It just kind of happens. So I probably already wasted it when I hit 475 there a few weeks back. But who knows? We'll see. So until next time, go out, get strong, stay strong, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.